Hi, this is Ranveer Singh, and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.
It's always wonderful to have Ranveer Singh back with us.
Is it always wonderful? Do you mean that?
100%.
High five, my brother.
100%. Dil se.
It's always good to
Dil
see
se.
you, and I mean that.
Thank you very much. I totally understand that. Okay, Firecracker मुझे लगता है कि ये गाना पूरे तरीके से आपके I think जिंदगी के ऊपर बहुत सही जाता है.
क्या मतलब आपका?
This defines you, I think.
It defines me.
Yeah, because you are a firecracker.
I'm a firecracker.
Absolutely.
Can you elaborate?
You know, it's something that it just spreads happiness, spreads lights.
Achha.
You know, spreads volumes of happiness all around.
Explosive.
Explosive as well.
Loud.
Yeah. Multifaceted.
Firecracker. Firecracker. ये किसी ने मुझे आज तक नहीं बोला कि तुम भी तो हो फायरक्रैकर. इसी बात पे हाथ मिलाओ यार. ठीक है, I'll take it as a compliment, my brother. Firecracker गाना जो है, actually it is a father singing it for his daughter. You know, my heart go boom like a firecracker. आँखियों में घूमती है बम ब्लैकर. जो भी देखे बोले she's a firecracker, she's a firecracker, ये है firecracker. क्यूटियों में क्यूट तेरे सारे तेवर. दूर से ही लगती है heart breaker. Oof. It is one song that, you know, I heard and I was like, what? यार ये तो मज़ेदार है. मेरे को याद है कुछ ही instances में हुआ है मेरी ज़िंदगी में. I remember listening to तूने मारी एंट्रियाँ. फर्स्ट टाइम जब भी मैंने सुना था ना, वो तंग 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 ओशोना वो जैसे ही शुरू हो गया ना, मुझे लगा कि यार ये दम है इस गाने में. So this song also, when I heard it for the first time, when the first strains hit, tang 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 tang, you know, my heart go boom like a firecracker. Vishal Shekhar, yeah, killing it.
Absolutely.
Killing it.
Absolutely.
Who's killing it harder than Vishal Shekhar? Really?
No, absolutely. I think it's one of the finest especially in the recent times. Okay, now आपके जो डायरेक्टर हैं दिव्यांग ठक्कर, वो कह रहे हैं कि that जयेश भाई जोरदार, it's your finest performance.
You've just come out.
You've just come out of 83, which is considered your finest performance as well. So ये जो एक long list आपकी एक कमाल के performances की आपकी हो चुकी है, इसका आप कैसे इसको देखते हैं आप?
तो यही तो मज़ा है, यही तो अच्छा लगता है सुन के कि your last performance was your best performance. Your last performance was your best performance. अगर मैं बैट्समैन होता तो your last innings was your best innings. If you're not growing and developing and evolving as an artist and getting better and better at your craft and doing better than you did before, फिर क्या ही हो रहा है? Idea is to keep growing and keep exploring one's own creativity. हालांकि ये subjective होता है, किसको कौन सी performance अच्छी लगती है ये तो कभी किसी को पता नहीं होता. मुझे तो अपनी, आप मुझे पूछोगे what do you think is your best performance, I would still say Band Baja Bharat, you know, or I would say Simba, you know. वो मुश्किल होता है because I would give maximum points for that kind of performance, you know, where you're in a proper hardcore mainstream masala film.
Right.
It's quite high pitched and front footed, yet you're able to achieve that balance and make it authentic, you know. So it was a very fine line to walk when one is pitching the character of Sangram Bhalerao. So tricky territory, and if you do it effectively, then maximum points for you. It's like अगर मैं अभी मैं IPL मैच के लिए जा रहा हूँ तो मेरे जहन में क्रिकेट वाली एनालॉजीज आ रही हैं. तो when you're batting on a tricky surface and you score there, you get extra points for that.
100%.
So for me, Simba, Band Baja, perhaps I have a soft spot. It was the first one, but lots of people have, you know, different choices. Somebody says Khilji, somebody says Gully Boy, somebody says Kapil Dev, somebody says Jayesh Bhai Jordar.
Right.
But I have to say, in keeping with what we're discussing, yes, when I saw the film and if I try and be objective about it, I can say that yes, this is opening up a new facet of my repertoire, a new dimension of you know, me as a performer, new expressions, new body language, new voice, new gait, new energy, new being, you know, something new that I haven't even seen myself do this. So I was very pleased to see that, very refreshed to see it, and I'm very pleased that it is that way, because that's my constant endeavor. Ki time after time to create characters that are very starkly and distinctively different from something you've done before. And especially the last performance, you know, कि last film देख के आपको जब अगली film दिखे तो ऐसे मतलब लगना चाहिए कि अब क्या बन गया अभी मतलब ये और मतलब क्या ही हो रहा है यहाँ पे. So that kind of you know, showcasing of very very different facets in one's repertoire as a performer is my endeavor, and it's so far so good, you know. अगर आप लास्ट रन देखो, पिछले 4-5 ओवर की बात हो तो पहले तो एक खिलजी आ गया, फिर उसके बाद सिम्बा, फिर गली बॉय, फिर कपिल देव, फिर जयेश भाई. मतलब to have this filmography shaping up this way is precisely how I would have liked it to be, and it's panning out that way. So I'm grateful for the opportunities, and I'm happy that it is being recognized.
Apparently, Aditya Chopra told you that Hrithik Roshan जैसे looks तो शायद नहीं हो,
हाँ.
acting में संभाल लेना. तो आपने I think you took it very seriously.
क्या मतलब आपका? मतलब ये क्या ही बोल रहे हो?
आपने उसको गुरु मंत्र बना लिया. And I think it has worked for you.
It's been a funny journey in the way I perceive myself. I used to think I'm good looking, and then Aditya gave me a reality check at the beginning of my career. He was like, "You are good looking, but not in a conventional way."
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, he put it that way, which is a fun way of putting it. He told me, like you said, देख बेटा तू ऋतिक रोशन तो ना है, तो एक्टिंग कर लेना. तो I don't know. I still don't really consider myself to be great looking or anything, but over a period of time, you know, I've also grown and evolved as a person, and whether it's you know, regardless of gender, I think a person's attractiveness really comes from a vibration. It comes from many other things beyond just looks. And even when it comes to my characters, for me, it's really, really important to look like the character. Looking good, that it has its own time. Like last week, I was shooting with Mr. Karan Johar for Rocky Aur Rani Ki Prem Kahani, and you know, Karan Johar's brand of cinema is very well known for having in it very attractive people. You know, so his brief to me last week was, when we shoot this sequence, I only have one brief for you. You have to look your best. You know, so there is that time where you're supposed to look good, but my priority always remains with looking like the character. So now, even when I was shooting Jayesh Bhai Jordar, I was walking around with this, you know, sort of silly-looking mustache, you know, or I shaved my hair for Bajirao, or you know, for me, or even Kapil, which was a very extreme look change.
Accent as well.
Yeah, so to change,
diction
yeah,
as well.
to change everything, because it all adds up to creating a distinctive character. You change the way you look, you change the way you speak, your voice, you change the way you walk, the way you stand, the way you sit. You have to change and transform everything in order for it to all add up, and then you're able to create that distinctive character. And उसमें मुझे बहुत मजा आता है. I don't know any other way. That's the kind of performer that I aspire to be also. That, you know, when those compliments hit different, when they say minutes into the film, I forgot I was watching you and I was just watching this character. Those compliments really hit different, because that's what you aspire to do. कि आप खो जाओ कहीं और आपको जो दिखे वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ कैरेक्टर रहे.
Okay, you know, so ऋतिक रोशन के जो एनालॉजी जो आदित्य चोपड़ा ने दी है, वो उनका पर्सनल उनका वो है. मैं इस वक्त मैं आपको एक वादा कर रहा हूँ, हम लोग एक वीडियो बनाएंगे, because in my interviews many actresses, they have spoken about you, your looks, your sex appeal, your energy. I'll combine all those videos, okay, and I'll intersperse it with this conversation.
I would love to see
So I think
this video.
And you know, you should see their expressions, how they respond the moment your name comes up and when they're talking about it. So that is my promise to you.
I'm glad
Okay,
that
so
someone finds me attractive.
many.
and desirable.
मैं आपको पहली फिल्म से आपकी जानता हूँ और मैंने बड़े आपको जाहिर सी बात है मतलब यू नो वी हैव आई थिंक very very nice sort of bond and I've seen you very closely and I'm extremely fond of you and I respect you a lot as a professional. What I've always felt that you know you have this persona of being this happy-go-lucky and always cheerful and at times wearing thoda sa atrangi se kuch kapde and all that stuff. But I feel, you know, behind all that, maybe you are hiding something, and there is a very very ambitious professional who wants to excel like no one has ever done that before.
Mhm.
Is that a somewhat close assessment? Maybe you're not showing how ambitious you can be and how passionate you are towards your work.
I make no bones about my ambitions and aspirations. I'm very open about the fact that I want to achieve a degree of excellence in the craft of acting that I can be proud of. Because what do we have in this life, Faridoon? Really, we have time, and what defines us is how we spend that time. So, if my life is dedicated to the craft of acting, then I would like to do the best job possible. I don't subscribe to conventional standards of excellence. I set my own standards of excellence and my own benchmarks. And I would, I, I want to be proud of the work that I am doing. That's most important to me. When what we do as artists is, like I always say, falls into the realm of subjectivity. You know, so these are subjective things. किसी को अच्छा लगता है, किसी को बुरा लगता है. It's art. It's there for everybody to receive, interpret, and perceive in their own way. But as far as I'm concerned, I uh, I always put the artist in me first. You know, um, money is great, fame is great, and both come with good and bad. You know, they come with their own pitfalls. There's a great uh, side to having money, but you know, as they say, more money, more problems. There is fame, and it opens up a lot of doors for you, and it allows for several conveniences and privileges. But at the same time, it's got its own trappings, its own its own failings really, um, and and yeah, it's wonderful to be rich and famous, but that is never that was never that was never what I wanted to be. You know, I wanted to be an actor, a Hindi film hero. I just wanted to be a part of movies because I love movies. I love the process of creating movies. I love being on set. I love cinema. I love the craft of cinema. I love the theoretical deep discussions and breaking down cinema. I've been a student of cinema. I love theater. I love performance art. It excites me to the core. I'm an as much an appreciator of मादा जैसे बोलते हैं ना शायरी में. I appreciate art. I appreciate performance art, other performances, other films. I'm a student of cinema. I love, because I really think this audiovisual medium allows for so much creativity to be expressed. Allows it's such a wonderful medium. So yeah, for me, I just wanted to be a part of films, and I got that opportunity. I'm just so grateful for that. Um, am I uh, am I a sharp professional? Yeah, I'm an absolute shark. But I'm like that about everything that I'm doing. So if I am engaged in the business side of things, I'm going to try and do my best in that as well. If it's a question of how effective of a time manager you are, I'm going to try and be the best professional, the best at managing time, and yes, I am ambitious, but my ambition is to be recognized as a versatile performer who contributed to the arts and who um, who was मतलब 50 साल बाद man, in his time, he was really at the forefront of the growth and evolution of Indian cinema. If I can be recognized as somebody who contributed, who made a significant contribution to the arts, a significant contribution to Indian cinema, that would be fulfilling for me. That's what would give me fulfillment.
That's awesome. जैसे अभी आपने कहा कि आपके लिए जो सबसे बड़ा कॉम्प्लीमेंट होता है वही होता है कि 10 मिनट में हमें ये पता नहीं था कि वो रणवीर सिंह नहीं दिख रहे थे, वो किरदार हमें नजर आ रहा था। एंड आई थिंक ये जयेश भाई के लिए आपको
और मैं आपको बता दूं, ऐसे नहीं कि मैं इंटेलेक्चुअल बातें, इंटेलिजेंट बातें, डीप बातें, गहराइयां वाली बातें, रूहानी बातें मैं नहीं कर सकता हूँ। वो देयर इज दैट साइड ऑफ मी। अब कोई सामने बैठ के उस तरीके से मुझे एंगेज करे तो वो साइड मेरा दिखे। But and yeah, I know because I'm in constant touch with my fans, you know, on social media platforms. I think that's the wonderful side of it, that you can have this one-to-one connect with your fans. So they write to me every day and I read what they write, and they recognize, they're like, you have this side of you. My wife says it as well. Exactly what you're saying is that you have this side of you that we don't often get to see. But I guess it's a function of context. You put me in that in that context, and you'll probably see it. But yes, there is that very deep and intellectual side to me, and yes, my wife keeps telling me that you are so intelligent, you know. But we don't often get to see that side of you. And then I think Nasir sir told me the most wonderful thing. He's like, in this play of life, you choose to play the fool, and the fool is actually the wisest one. So, so yeah, I take that, and I'm happy to be you know, the court jester, because my calling is to be an entertainer. My quality is to my calling is to entertain people. I feel like my purpose in life, मैं हमेशा से कहता हूँ यार, life is suffering. कलयुग में रह रहे हैं हम, and we are all on this difficult journey, and it's difficult for everybody is fighting their own battles, you know. What would give your life purpose and be fulfilling to me is if मेरे साथ जो इस जर्नी पे चल रहा है उसका अगर मैं बोझ हल्का कर सकूं, बस और क्या मांगू मैं, you know, that would be that would give me fulfillment. So I'm happy to be a source of some kind of joy and happiness and sunshine for others, and be an entertainer, you know. That is my calling, and that's what makes me feel most fulfilled.
In fact, you know, Nasir Saab is a huge fan of Shakespeare. And Shakespeare has said that a fool doth think himself to be wise, but a wise man knows himself to be a fool. Context की आपने बात कही, बहुत कमाल की आपने बात कही. जैसे क्या होता है कि आप गली बॉय है, बाजीरा मस्तानी है, पद्मावत है, and now जयेश भाई as well. You know, you seem to enjoy becoming a part of that context of the role that you're playing. You like to be involved with the world that is being showcased in the film. It's not you're merely thinking about your own character, you're thinking about the entire world. वो आपका प्रोसेस क्या है, वो उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट का हिस्सा बनना कैसे करते हैं आप?
It's different for different parts and different films and with different filmmakers. Sometimes it's dedicated and very concentrated work in workshops. Sometimes it's literally traveling to those places, meeting the people who, you know, you're basing your character on, taking cues and information from there. Other times when that's not forthcoming, you have to try other methods. Like I've spoken about my process for perhaps Khilji, you know, that's not accessible. वो, you know, कब की कहानी है, अब आप how do you transport yourself to that era? How do you get into that mind space? Then you read books, you listen to music, you watch you apply different texts. When I mean text, you can use a film as a text. You can use what are the texts that you're consuming? What is your diet? So I consume, literally and metaphorically, those things that draw me closer to the person I'm trying to become, and inhabit the space and life that I'm trying to live. Because that's the beautiful part about it, right? You get to live different lives. You know, अगर आप गली बॉय कर रहे हो तो to live that life, you get to do different things. Like उसमें rap कर दिया, 83 में cricket खेलने को मिल गया. I can be a rapper, I can be a cricketer, I can be, that's the wonderful part about what I do. And so I embrace it wholeheartedly. I just go for it. Coming back to Khilji, for instance, now I'm in the 2000s. How do you transport yourself? So you read about people who lived at that time, about tyrannical rulers, about torture methods. You watch cinema, you watch other portrayals of psychopathic characters, of sociopathic characters. You read about sociopaths and murderers and people who've commissioned genocide. Like how do you convincingly become somebody who can be a perpetrator of genocide? How do you do that? How do you transport your mind, body, and spirit there? It's through, like I said, different methods. So it's for Khilji, I had a workspace and I sort of created like a cave, and I was living there and breathing there. And like I said, it's what you consume. Change your diet. So I was eating with red meat 3 times, because for me during Khilji, I was like, it should come straight from my gut. So it starts then literally with the gut. So this is literally what you're eating. And Khilji, I was eating red meat 3 times a day. मैंने सोचा कि यार अगर मैं ये ऐसा करूँगा, it'll affect my temperament, it'll affect my body heat, it'll affect everything. So it started with that. It's down to what you eat. I was vegetarian during Jayesh Bhai, because Jayesh would be a vegetarian. When I was playing couple, I was playing cricket for 4 times a day. I was doing physical training for 2 hours a day. That's like 6 hours a day of just training. But what else does an athlete? An athlete's life is constituted by training. So I was training. I lived like an athlete, and there was, at the time that I was offered 83, there was another offer on the table, very exciting offer as well. But that was of a very self-destructive character, smoking, drinking. I didn't want to be that at that time. That was not the life choice I wanted to. I didn't feel like I wanted to inhabit that character. I said I would much rather be an athlete. So I chose that. I lived a healthy life, diet, training, exercise, mental preparation, everything. It was like like I said, you try and live those lives as much as possible. So different characters, different directors, different methodologies. It's never really the same roadmap. But what is common across characters is the process of preparation. You take that time out prior to the commencement of the principal shooting of the film,
right,
to go and transport yourself to that world and take yourself there where you have all the, because what are you doing? That's just it's a process of acquiring tools like creating a tool belt that you can use when you're rendering the character. You can access all of those things to make those choices when you're acting.
We've taken a few YouTube comments from the trailer of Jai Bhai Jodhar. This is Anshul Sharma. I want to know what was Deepika's reaction after watching her husband's beautiful performance here. This man's script choices are unique.
Yeah. I'm very, very proud of my script choice. This script was just absolutely exhilarating, full of humor, full of emotion. Deepika's reaction was similar to the way she reacted when she saw 83. She paid me probably a compliment that is most dear to me amongst the other little bits of praise and acclaim and accolades that I have received for my performances. Coming from somebody who knows me so intimately and so deeply, it kind of hits different. And somebody who you know will never ever lie to you or try and sugarcoat things to you. And she said to me that the degree to which you're able to create distinctive characters time after time in your filmography is unprecedented in Indian cinema. And that for me, I was like, wow, I actually did not think about it that way. But she was like, no, you tell me. Do you have any reference point? Do you think anybody who works predominantly in the mainstream has ever had this? And I thought about it. I was like, you're actually right. So yeah, she said, you did it again. Just when you think, you know, what more or different can one do, you go out and do something that you've never been seen in his avatar before. So what else we here for?
What else we here for?
So yeah, that compliment from my baby, that hit different.
Okay, beautiful. This is Ankush Jagtap, finally a good slice of life family entertainer from Bollywood. Will take my family to cinemas on 13th May. Thanks, Ranveer and Vairav. You know, you said at the press conference that इसमें जो है वो दो लोग आएंगे, husband wife होंगे, उनके बच्चे भी होंगे, दादा भी होंगे, मामा भी होंगे, which I think, you know, that's a beautiful observation. That's, I think, is going to happen with this film.
No, actually, it's not like I want to be a part of clean family entertainers, because that's the kind of stuff that I want to be a part of and present to the audience. Like I said, my purpose in life is to entertain people. That's my calling. That's what gives me fulfillment. And over a period of time, at a personal level, I'm becoming the kind of person who really treasures, values and cherishes time spent with family, quality time spent with family, creating memories together and sharing experiences together. So I seek out those opportunities where I can be with my loved ones, with my family, and have a shared experience that we can create a wonderful memory out of. And I feel like I want my films to be that, where they go together to watch it. They watch it together. That brings people together. सब यार दोस्त साथ में, मम्मी डैडी बच्चे सब साथ में बैठ के देखो. Community viewing. Because our lives are becoming more and more isolated. Mobile phone जब से आ गया है, आप अक्सर देखते हो, आप रेस्टोरेंट में जाओ, आप एयरपोर्ट पे जाओ, 4 लोग बैठे हैं, 4 फैमिली बैठे हैं और सब अपने फ़ोन पे. They are all doing that individualistic thing, So I want to be a part of things that unites people, that brings people, like 83, things, community viewing experiences that unite people and that can transcend boundaries of geography, of demographics, के सब लोग साथ में, क्योंकि I would underline that, सब लोग साथ में आके देखो, experience करो, साथ में हंसो, साथ में रो, ताकि वो आपके लिए एक shared experience हो और एक memory बन जाए. That's the kind of cinema I want to be a part of.
Amazing. I'll take one last comment. This is Kalyani Sathe. In the movie, at least, the husband is supporting his wife's decision against the abortion. However, in reality, there are countless cases where the husband works in full agreement with their parents' decision of abortion, even if it means aborting 2, 3, 4, 5, or any number of times just to have a son. They don't care what will happen to the mother, whether she will survive all that or not. I think that's a beautiful message that is coming out, and well done.
Yep, that's precisely the center of the conflict of our narrative. It is precisely that. And that's what I found that jumped out to me and grabbed me by the neck about this script, is that what it's speaking of is actually so tragic. It's so disturbing. You're speaking about feticide, infanticide, dowry, domestic abuse, domestic violence, emotional abuse, patriarchy. So many disturbing themes that are still unfortunately ever so prevalent in society, and are the ills that plague our society. it speaks of so many things, but yet it's satire, and therefore you turn it on its head like Chaplin does, you know, like he always said, you take pain and you play with it. So whilst you're speaking of all of these things, it's all told from a humorous lens. So you're laughing, but what's actually going on is quite dark and disturbing and quite tragic. And I gave an example at the trailer launch, you know, when you watched a Chaplin movie,
Loaf of bread.
yeah, that's the one. And I'll repeat that story here for the sake of this interview and this response. What is the scene? The scene is that he has not eaten for 3 days. He's a tramp, a vagabond, sort of, character who's hungry, who's not eaten a morsel of food for 3 days. And he's trying to steal a loaf of bread. It's so tragic. But when you watch it, you only remember laughing. You are laughing, and that's the beauty of satire, and that's what attracts me to satire so much, and tragic humor so much. Is that and that's how I view pain in life, really, and suffering in life. You know, it's there, it's a reality, but it's how you deal with it, it's how you take it. You know, so that's what I found most qualitative about this material, is that it's speaking about all of these things, yet I'm laughing throughout at what is going on. So that was what I found amazing about this story of Divyang's, and I'm very, very happy. And now that we're talking about it, I'm actually really excited to see how people receive it.
It's going to be amazing. All right, so we'll end this conversation with rapid fire with Ranveer Singh. I think you'll enjoy it.
Sir, rapid fire है तो hamper मिलना चाहिए.
Hamper है.
वाकई है.
There is a speaker.
अरे वाह, कितना शौक है मुझे.
This is for you.
अच्छा, हंगामा का स्पीकर.
Yeah.
वाह यार, तरक्की कर रहा है हंगामा. जियो हंगामा. Very good. अरे, gladly accepted, sir. Okay. Rapid fire with Faridoon.
A dialogue in the movie goes as ऐसी बात पर सर हिलाना compulsory है. Have you encountered a similar moment in your life when you disagreed with the producer director but you still nodded positively?
नहीं यार, पहले हुआ करता था शायद मेरे करियर में. अब if there is a difference of opinion or a creative disagreement, I'll definitely express it. Now I have the self-confidence to be able to do that. Yet I always believe films, cinema, it's a director's medium. Director is the boss. It's his vision. It's his story. I'm just a tool, just a vehicle of telling that story. And so, whilst I will express my opinion only when it is invited, the last say is always the person whose vision it is. And I'll always align myself to that, without exception.
जी. वो क्या चीज़ है जो जयेश भाई को जोरदार बनाती है?
जयेश भाई को जोरदार बनाती है सिर्फ एक चीज़, वो है लव, प्यार. और वो प्यार के लिए किसी भी हद तक जाने के लिए तैयार है. सो हिज सुपर पावर इज लव, एंड लव इज अ सुपर पावर.
ओके, विल टेक वन लास्ट. आपके हिसाब से मर्द की असली परिभाषा क्या होती है?
क्या सवाल कर लिया. मर्दानगी की असली परिभाषा होती है, इफ़ यू कैन यूज़ योर स्ट्रेंथ्स to uplift others. वो होगी मर्द की असली परिभाषा.
That's amazing. So Ranveer Singh, as always, wonderful talking to you. Congratulations for another winner on the way, and all the best wishes. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
अरे जोरदार. गाना नहीं गाया सर.
नहीं गाऊंगा मैं. ये मैं इसका मैं बनाने वाला हूँ. फायर क्रैकर पे I'll make a.
और वो अट्रैक्टिवनेस और डिजायरेबिलिटी वाला एडिट मैं वेट करूँगा सर. वेट करूँगा. और एक और बात जाने से पहले, जब फरीदून भाई आप थिएटर से निकले और आपने 83 देखी थी, और जिस तरीके से आपने एकदम दिल से बयां किया, आपने जो एक्सपीरियंस किया, जो फील किया और जो आपने एक्सप्रेस किया, वो मैंने देखा और आई वॉज मूव टू टीयर्स. आई वॉज वेरी वेरी इमोशनल विथ योर रिएक्शन, एंड आई कैन ओनली से थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग so honest and expressing what you felt as an artist, somebody who works in cinema. That made me feel the fact that you felt all of those things, though that cinematic experience was able to evoke that kind of emotion out of you, to witness that, to learn of that in that way, made me feel very, very fulfilled. So thank you for that, Bhaijan.
It's my pleasure because देखिए वो एक परफॉर्मेंस नहीं है जो आप लोगों ने मेहनत करी है उस फिल्म के पीछे. आई थिंक मे बी you guys should talk about it at some time because it's more than a film.
Yeah.
So thank you very much and all the best wishes. Thank you so
Thank
much. That's all we have from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.
Hi, this is Ranveer Singh and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.